Hi, everybody. It's Kathy Ondas with Simply Cards by Kathy. And I'm really happy to be here with you today. This video was supposed to air yesterday on Wednesday, the 13th of July. But I live in the Great Lakes area and we had quite a storm and we lost power there for a while. So I'm going to redo the video for today and I hope you enjoy it. If you're new to my channel, I'm really happy that you found me, and click that subscribe button and that little bell below so that you get notified when I do videos. And if you're returning, thank you so much for following me and returning. I'm always excited to share my cards and crafting with you. So today we are going to use the Sweet Candy Canes bundle, and we're going to make a quick and easy card. And just because it's quick and easy doesn't mean it isn't pretty. So I am going to flip this camera to my overhead one, so you're looking down at my work area, and we're going to get started. Okay, hopefully you can see that well. This is the card we're going to make today, and it's using the Sweet Candy Canes bundle, but it's also using the Sweetest Christmas Designer Series paper. And I love that paper because it actually, you can cut out some of the designs from that paper with the dies from the bundle. So I'm going to set this off to the side for a minute here. And I'm just going to bring in my mini catalog and show you where you can find this. The Sweet Candy Canes bundle is on page 10 in the mini 2022 July to December catalog. And really great sentiments, and these candy canes you can actually have stamps for, or you can cut them out from the designer series paper. And then you have this beautiful full card die cut that I'm going to show you here in a minute, but we aren't going to actually use that today. So I want to show you the supplies I'm using ahead of time so that when we start, we're just going to go right through. This is the Sweetest Candy Cane bundle. It is a cling stamp set. Now I'm not using these today, but I'm going to be using this greeting for the front of my card, and wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season for the inside greeting of my card. And this is paired up with these 6 dies. You have 2 candy canes, one going in each direction. You have 2 leaves, which I love because that way you can stamp more than one. You have this large, which could be a layer die, and it cuts out the designer series paper, or you can use it on cardstock. I love that this set has a die for cutting the greetings, and we are going to be using that today, and the leaves. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and I want to show you really quickly one other die set I'm going to use. I'm using the deckled rectangle dies, and on the card I'm using the largest one and the second largest one. Now in the instructions, and I truly do mean this, don't let this stop you from using the card. I'm hoping I give you inspiration and you take and make the card, either copy it, which I love, or make it your own. If you don't have these deckled rectangle dies and you have the stitched rectangle dies, use those. And if you don't have those, then just cut 2 layers of paper and cardstock and use that. It's going to be just as pretty. So if you don't have something and you're seeing from a demonstrator what to use, look at what you have and see what you can substitute for it in place of it. Now the paper I'm using is that Sweetest Christmas, and this is all I have left of the candy canes because I've been cutting them. But I want to show you how easy it is to cut these candy canes out with the dies. All you do is place them on top and then run them through your die cut, and this is what you have, which is what I'm going to be using today. So this is what I have left of this paper. And then you have Sweet Sorbet. The colors in this paper are Sweet Sorbet, Pool Party, garden green, real red, so, and then the white. So these are the different papers that come in that designer series paper. And then if we flip it over, which I'm going to do now, you have some polka dots and some diamonds, and then you have some stripes here, using all the four colors that I just mentioned. So really beautiful paper for the holidays. So I'm going to move this off to the side, and we're going to bring in our supplies, and let's get started. I've done a lot of the prep work for us in an effort to try to save us some time. And but don't worry about measurements, because measurements, supplies, and directions are all going to be right down below. There's a link that will take you there, and you'll be able to see everything without writing it down. Now, this is a half a piece of garden green cardstock. It's cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it on the score line. And I want to make sure that it's straight. And then I'm just going to give it a good burnishing with my bone folder. Okay. Now I cut 2 layers of basic white cardstock. One is for the front and one is for our inside. Now this is the largest of the deckled rectangle dies. And then the second largest I used to cut a piece of designer series paper. And we're going to layer those together. So I'm just going to use today my Stampin' Seal Plus. And you don't need to run this all the way down the sides. Save some of your running tape, and just give it some small little pieces along the back. Now, when I first started using the and I guess it's when I first started using this, I really pressed too hard on it and it would tear my paper. Use a light hand, and then if it does come out along the sides, it folds right over so that it does not show. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my cardstock, my basic white. There we go. And I'm not going to adhere it to the card yet, because we're going to wrap some ribbon around this. And I'm going to take my 2 candy canes, and these are going to cross over one another. And in order to hold them, to place them on the card, I am going to use dimensionals. But I want to hold them in place while I'm doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and take just a small, the mini glue dot. And I'm going to place one here in the center of this one. And then I'm just going to cross them over like that. And that'll hold them together while I get my Stampin' Dimensionals in place. Now, I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals all over, because I want these to stand up well. And I tend to use more than less, which I think most of us do. So I hope you're having a great day. And this card is the second in my series of 2022 Christmas in July. And I will be back tomorrow with another holiday card for you. And I hope you'll join me then too. So let's go ahead, and we're going to remove the backings on this. I don't know about you, but if you use Stampin' Dimensionals, I find these little backs all over the house. The other day, I actually found one on the dog's nose. So they do tend to get all over. All right. So we're ready to place this on the front of our card. And I'm just going to take a look at where I want it, and I'm going to go more in the middle here. think, just like that. Now I'm going to bring in our greeting, and I did stamp this and die cut it using the die from the candy cane dies. And you can see it has 2 holes through it. So what I thought I would do is I cut a piece of the real red ribbon, and this is the faux linen, and this is about 5.5 inches. So I want to run this. I'm going to run it along the back of this greeting. And so it comes up in the front on the sides. And I want to place it, I want it to go right under the candy canes. So what I'm going to do is use a mini glue dot right in the center. You can see I used that for stamping and wasn't happy with it and turned it over and used it for something else, which I do a lot rather than waste the paper. So I'm just going to put a little glue dot here and adhere my ribbon to it. Okay, and then I'm also going to put a glue dot on the ribbon because when I turn this over, this is actually going to be sitting on the candy canes, but I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals on each end because those are going to be on the card layer, and that will just kind of even things up. So let's remove these backs. And I want to be careful before adhering it. So we're just I'm gonna slide it in right under the candy cane just a little bit. And make sure it's straight and press down. Now I want to adhere this ribbon before I attach this to my card base to the back. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, but if you don't have Stampin' Seal, use Scotch tape. It works just as well. And oftentimes I do use Scotch tape. So I'm going to go ahead and we've got this. And then I'm just going to come in here with my snips and trim this excess ribbon off. Okay, so there's the front of our card. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal on there, and I am going to go over the ribbon because I want that to make sure it adheres to the card base. And then we're going to put this on. And like I said, this is really a quick card, but I think it's a cute card. And I've made several of these as one of my cards for Christmas. I start my cards way ahead of time so that I am ready when it's time to send them out. So when you have it where you want it, just press it down. Now I cut some little leaves from the stamp set, and this is a stamp in the sweet candy canes, and I thought if they'd look cute just kind of poking out the holes there. So what I'm going to do is put a piece of, or a small glue dot on each of those that'll attach to the ribbon and keep those from slipping around. And then I'm going to put a mini glue dot on the top because that's going to end up adhering to the card base. So let's bring in our minis. And we're going to put one here. And we're going to put a second one right here. So, and that's going to adhere there. Let's take that back off. And this one's going to adhere right here. Now I want to dress up the front of it a little bit. So I like the red rhinestones. I think they're so festive and I just love using them. So I thought we'd put 3 on here. And we're going to put one here, I think. And let's put another one diagonal to that. And then I'm going to put one up in the corner. These little things are slippery. They move around. So there's the front of our card. Now all we have to do is finish up the inside. So I am going to bring in my card base. And again, this is cut with the second largest rectangle die. And I'm going to put this right in the corner. And I'm just going to adhere it with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. You can also use a glue dot or multi-purpose glue. Those work just as well. And I'm going to put it right here in the corner. Now I have to stamp my greeting because I haven't done that yet. And I'm using that stamp from this Candy Canes bundle, wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season and always. And I'm going to use Garden Green for this. So I'm going to ink this up. Okay, and what I should have done is probably stamped it before I adhered in case I made a mistake, but let's see how we do. So I'm just going to go ahead and that looks good. I'm happy with that. Now before I adhere it to the inside, I want to go ahead and I'm going to add some of these little rhinestones to that little leaf. So I'm going to put one right here, and it's almost going to look like a piece of mistletoe or holly. I'm going to put one here, and let's put a third one right here. What do you think? So we're going to put this on the inside and our card will be done. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you'd give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and help me grow my channel. And like I said, if you hit that little bell, you'll get notified when I'm on or put a video on. I am typically on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. and then again on Fridays for Friday Fun at 1. But during the month of July, I'm doing 2022 Christmas in July, and I will be on Wednesdays also with a Christmas card on Wednesdays and Fridays. So here's our card. Looks just like the other one. You can switch the colors up, but look how quick and easy that was. And I think it's a really cute card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be back tomorrow for Friday Fun at 1, and I hope you'll join me then. Have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon.